Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Don't you guys as citizens of your own countries like when your government takes from you and gives to someone else without your approval or not even asking you? So I know that my British friends have everything they need. I know that the government gives them extra aid for this winter, and the schools are all new hospital, new infrastructure, the grocery you can buy now for less, the electricity costs a little fraction of your income, and you can afford giving other countries aid because your government says so. I'm glad that they don't ask you, because why should they? You voted for some of them, and they decide that they do this for your own benefit, for you and your families. But I have here a little article that kind of says a different story. So let's see what this little article says about how much money you really got. This article comes from Al Mayadin from today, the 27th of November 2022. And this is the title, and I'm quoting: "There's no money. UK Transport Minister on funding workers' wages." I thought, is it a joke or something? Is Zelensky the clown? Nah. Is actually the British Transport Secretary Mark Harper the clown. There's no money. All right, so let's see what this guy is saying. And I'm quoting: "There simply isn't the money," argued British Transport Secretary Mark Harper as London allocates billions of dollars worth of military aid to Ukraine. The conversation revolved around funding wage hikes, which could potentially make facing the recession in the UK a lot easier. Labour is pointing to Harper, arguing that he should be moving heaven and earth to try and avoid strikes in this winter. Speaking to Sky News, Harper said inflation-busting pay raises are unaffordable amid mass strikes in the public sector. There simply isn't the money to fund such wage hikes, even in line with the rising prices on a national scale, going on to hint that there is progress in talks over the rail dispute. Unless they get a 19% pay raise, nurses in the UK will be staging their first ever nationwide strike in December. Last month, inflation in the UK hit 11.1%, a 41-year high, hiking up energy and food bills. Arguing against the measures, Harper said, "We're facing a very difficult economic situation." I don't believe that. And I tell you why I don't believe that. If you have the money to give it to someone else, but you control my wages, you have, I think we're just really, how should I put it? When I lived in the communist system, I didn't believe those guys when they were telling us, you know what, in the West, in the capitalist system, is the exploitation of men by men, or by humans by other humans, of humans by other humans. So I said, well, this is just propaganda. No, I really think that's going on here like that. I mean, I understand how the market supposedly works, and it's supply and demand and all that. I can't pay you more than that. I can't pay you. But the people who set the boundaries and the rules, they set them in such a way that these guys really can't pay you. Really can't pay you. Like right now, Great Britain gives winter aid. I'm not talking about guns. Winter aid, relief, winter relief, emergency relief to Ukrainians. And they don't have money. They don't have money for you, for its own people that actually fund the creation of the money, or how you want to produce the money that you supposedly send it over there, even though you send the money that you borrow because you don't have that money. I don't think you work in a profit. I think you work in a deficit. The most recent official data revealed that the cost of staples like milk, butter, cheese, pasta, and eggs increased significantly in October, pushing food prices inflation to 16.4%, the highest level since 1977. 10% of single parents reported to which compared to an average of 3% that they would had to use a food bank in the previous 2 months. And I got another thing here from other two articles, and I used the ones that are approved, and one is from the new Voice of Ukraine. And on November 19th, the UK Sunak, the Prime Minister, arrives in Kiev with 60 million worth of air defense aid for Ukraine. You say, well, it's air defense. Okay, but that has to be replenished. That comes from somewhere, comes from you. Someone built that, someone was paid for that, and now they have to build that again, right? At what price? What wage? That's one. And the other one is this. This is another article coming from Reuters, and it says British Foreign Minister unveils more winter aid, this is winter aid, on Kiev trip. And this occurred on November 25th, 2022, 2 days ago. And he says British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly unveiled millions of pounds in additional support for Ukraine during a visit to Kiev on Friday as the country grapples with Russian airstrikes on vital infrastructure which winter setting in. So you're going to provide some other things. And it says here, UK humanitarian aid to Ukraine this winter so far totals to 16 million pounds. That's $16 million. 1-6, Sunak said. All right? You provide that, and they have simply no money to provide you with whatever you need. I'm going to tell you a little personal story. When I was here in the United States at the beginning, my early times, where certain things are not from your college, from this, for that. They say, well, it doesn't mean anything here. You got to start over and so on. So you pick whatever work you pick, which I did, not whatever, but I picked. I worked in a restaurant, I worked in bars, I worked in construction. And I worked in a construction building and a building business. And I was promoted from a laborer to a foreman, and then to job superintendent, blah, 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 overseeing foreman and teams, which was great. The problem is I was paid shit. I was paid much less than the predecessor, the guy who worked before I got that job, way lower. And I spoke with Il Presidente, the chief, the guy in chief, right? And I was complaining about it. And he told me, I knew a lot of things about the company. I knew a lot of things of where the money goes and who's who, what's what. So I kind of know that it's a lot of money, but we're paid as we are. And I asked for, no, I didn't ask. It was a time when something happened, and I said, you know what? I quit this job. That's it. It's just I can't do it. And this was what he said. Why, you dropped everything on my lap right now? And I said, well, I can't go keep going like this. And then I was ready to go. I dropped everything I had, all the credit cards and keys and whatever I had. And he wanted to talk to me. So we went it was outside in the morning before we were about to go, check on some jobs. And he said, well, come in. So we went into the building, and and I said, well, regardless if you go in or not, I was still, at that time, I was like this, because I came from a different mentality. So I was like, nah, even if we go here, I'm still gonna be gone. So my head was like, you just wanna fool me now. Just that's the session of fooling me and promising me and doing this. That's exactly what it was. But why did I mention on this? To tell you that he started promising me more money. All of a sudden, I had a conversation with him a few days ago, and he said, I can't pay you more. I can't, I don't have it. I can't. And I was like, I knew the hanky-panky. I knew more, and I had a memory. So I was like, I didn't tell him, again, because I was like that, like this. Right now I'm like, different. So he said, well, I can give you this much more. You can take 2 weeks vacation paid with no problems, and you just come back and you just reassess everything. And a lot of things were possible in those 7 minutes and 23 seconds that he spoke. Everything was possible. Everything was, and I was thinking, 7 minutes ago, you weren't giving me anything. Nothing was possible. You couldn't. And now, everything is possible. I felt insulted as fuck. But then I realized that's the way things are done here in the capitalist system. I came from a different system. I came from a home, where they said if you work hard, you're going to be rewarded. You don't have to beg for the money. They will give it to you because they say you are a hard worker person. You come every day. You leave the last one from the company. That's how I came here, doing that. But I didn't know that these guys are going to give me more to work, but don't give me money. Unless I said I'm quitting, then they got the thing. I didn't know this worked that way. So I felt that was that guy. So you had all this time this means, which I knew. And only because I say I'm leaving like a loser, right? I had to I don't want. Now you tell me that it's possible? So is this the game I'm supposed to play here? I was even more angry than I was before the conversation. And definitely I left. Right there. I said, okay, here it is. But you drop everything in my lap. Now more than before. So this was the same thing here. They tell you I don't have money for you guys, workers, but they have money to send it over there. How is that possible? They tell us here the same. It's the same wherever I worked. It was never enough money. Never enough money. But they had money for other stuff. There was always money, but not for you, not for me. And I don't think that's, how should I say it, not virtuous, but it's not noble. It's bazaar, like bazaar kind of. I don't like bazaar. For me, who works in a bazaar and I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna give you that. This cost $1, but if I can sell you $3,000, that's fine. I go home and I sleep very well. I can't do that. I know how much this cost me to make, and I need a profit. But if you were willing to pay $3,000 for this, let's say there are $1, how do I sleep tonight? You know what I mean? That's cheating right there. It's cheating right there. And you say, well, if he's willing to pay, yes, but I know that's a thievery right now, thievery. It's looting. So the same thing with these guys. You have to fight for each and everything. When they have it and they tell you, I can't. And you have to blackmail them to say, you know what, if you don't pay me, I'm going to leave. Is that how it is? This is very low. Kindergarten. If you don't do what if you don't, when you were a kid, if you am not the king here in this game, okay, I'm gonna take my toys and go home. You know what that guy would get from me? A smack. What are you talking about? You take your toys and leave. You blackmail us? You're gonna be the king of all this game because you got, I don't know, the little sword, plastic sword or something? Fuck you. You have to earn that to be the chief here. But the same thing you say here. Well, go and open your own business. Well, if that's the way it is, I was not criticizing that. I was criticizing how people have to fight for each and every fucking thing that they, I don't want to say deserve, because you earn it with your hard work, with showing up at work every morning on time, leaving the last one, working your ass off. And then they do what? They calculate how much profit they will make because you work more, they pay you less. That's the profit right there. So yeah, go and work and send other people your money. Other people will send it in your name. They shouldn't have your money, but they do. Why? You voted for some, and for some you didn't. The foreign minister, you didn't vote for that. The prime minister, you didn't vote for that. Good job. Good job. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.